And we're live. Hello, everybody.
Hey,
everyone.
Let's
You
go.
have three actual people, and then you have a blank screen, and then you have another blank screen. So what's going on, guys?
At least Kaiju's like camera is on. Is that like pointed at a wall? Yeah. But
it's just a wall.
Derek's dead. He's a ghost.
Yeah, and speaking, I know that there should be at least two other people. One of them chose he died ice fishing, so that's what happened to him. He wasn't able to make it. Sleep schedule is all wonk, so
he weighs like 20
went
pounds,
fishing.
So
and
weighs
then
like 20.
And then Foxy, I know Foxy, he is still setting up StreamYards, but he'll be joining us hopefully soon. But let's just sort of get into it. So starting off, we have the true Bioman.
Hey, what's up? Let's get into it.
Next to him, we have SavvyTune.
Hi, I am SavvyTune, and
then we have the 98est of 98 people that you could ever 98. We've got Kaijuzilla 98.
Hello.
And then the white person, we have El Twinkie-sama.
I identify as a Twinkie. That's about it.
You identify as a what?
He identifies as a
Twinkie.
beautiful Twinkie.
Oh, I thought you said.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think that is kind of appropriate for some of us. I mean, Grant, you were. No, you're kind of like a reverse Twinkie, technically, because you're white on the outside, and then you love Asian culture, so yellow on the inside. I don't know. I wasn't sure where I was going with this. Hello, Aaron.
Yeah,
hello, Brandon.
Hey, I just saw some comments come up.
We've got 3 people. So, yeah, actually, this is kind of the first StreamYard for a few of these guys. Y'all can see the comments as they come up, so if anyone's got any questions, just tell me to highlight them, and I will be able to do that. But to start out with, before we get into our own kaiju, to break the ice, in the same order I introduced y'all, just answer these questions. So, sort of, what got you into kaiju in the first place? What is your favorite kaiju, and what is your favorite Godzilla design? So we'll start off with Grant first, and then go in order.
So, as a kid, I got into giant monsters through the normal means of getting into giant monsters, which was Godzilla. We had on demand back then, I think, so we watched all the Japanese movies, and I watched the 98 cartoon religiously, just back and forth. But what really got me, but that was only a phase. That was like a 2 years, like bad for me. What really got me into giant monsters was there was have you guys ever seen that claymation where it was Godzilla and Cloverfield fighting?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That's what got me into it.
Oh,
that
really?
claymation between Godzilla and Cloverfield, that was the shit back in the day. I was such a big Cloverfild Godzilla fan. But after that I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, Godzilla. Yeah, I watched 2014 when it first came out, and I've just been consistently a Godzilla fan since then.
And then, of course, who is your favorite kaiju and your favorite Godzilla design?
Oh, there's a lot of kaiju out there, and there's a lot of franchises, so it's kind of cheap to choose a Godzilla kaiju, but Gigan is so fucking cool. He's like the General Grievous of the Godzilla franchise. He just has something awesome about him. He's just, I don't know. He just looks fucking awesome, and his design in Final Wars was just so fucking cool.
The xenomorph almost aspect in Final Wars.
Yeah,
he definitely
he's very sharp looking in Final Wars.
Like his body's all super biomechanical.
Yeah,
so it's definitely super xenomorph.
And his color scheme, that dark blue with the silver and red, that was so fucking.
He had a really good aesthetic to him.
Yeah,
and I really like how he cut off his own head, So cool.
Oh, don't you talk shit, Savi. I'll talk shit about your favorite.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
And of course, actually, before you continue on, we got another person in here. We've got Foxy boy himself, Foxy. How's it going, my dude?
Boy.
And ironically enough, Ryan
Hey.
introduced
Pretty
him.
good,
He's
people.
probably-
How's it?
oh, there he is. Hey. Awesome.
Say hello.
He has indeed. He's introduced himself. I'm happy you were able to
I
join
think
us.
I might have a bit of a delay.
It's all right, man.
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because
Where
we're
does
just gonna
that-
be like everyone's just gonna be talking. That shouldn't be too much of an issue for you. But next person, Savvy. What got you into
Wait.
Kaiju?
Wait,
What
we
about
get his,
favorite Godzilla
Oh, yeah.
design?
That's true. Yeah, Grant. Why?
Yeah.
Why didn't you stop me?
Because I thought you were just going ahead. So GMK has grown on me a lot. The GMK design. I used to not like it at all. However, Final Wars design is just I can't choose against the Final Wars design. That was Godzilla until 2014 came around for me, because I wasn't old enough to like really absorb like the Heisei Saga's Godzilla designs, but the 2004 Godzilla, that like slender built frame that like built to like fight and shit, that was the design. And it's still the design, to be honest, man. Take it away.
I can definitely agree with that. Now we get to Savvy.
Cool.
What got you into Kaiju? Favorite Kaiju and favorite Godzilla design. Let's hear it.
So let's see. What got me into Kaiju is, as a kid, I used to go over to my next door neighbor's house, and they had a Wii. And this was back when, I used to watch Netflix all the time, and they had Godzilla Raids. Not Godzilla Raids again. Godzilla's Revenge, the one with Gabra. Always skip the human parts and go straight to the kaiju fights. And then when I learned that those kaiju fights are actually from other movies, it just blew my mind. And then when I was really young, I used to go over to my mom's, school, and I used to, on the computer, I looked at top 10 Godzilla kaijus. And that's when I got into that Blue Oyster song, Go Go Godzilla. And I was like, I had my headphones on max volume. I was screaming as loud as I can, not even knowing I was screaming. Go Go Godzilla.
Did you watch the Cinemassacre videos?
Yes,
Where
I
James
did.
Rolfe talks about them? Oh.
The Monster Madness Godzilla-thons? Yeah, no. I used to, the Showa Godzillas are the ones that really got me into the series. And then I watched the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla film, or cartoon. Those were really good.
Did you see it on TV, or did you pick up the volume cases that they had on DVD at the time?
Neither. I had it on Netflix.
Oh, it was on Netflix?
Yeah, Godzilla's Revenge and the Hanna-Barbera thing used to all be on Netflix. And I was,
God damn, that was the golden age.
What?
The only reason I got into Netflix was because I had to watch something for a college class, and then I just kept the subscription. I should have gotten Netflix years ago.
Yeah.
I regret my life choices now.
Yeah, I regret watching the anime trilogy. So.
yeah, no, but
Oh.
don't get me started on
I'm
Oh,
spitting fire tonight.
They weren't my thing. Okay, so my favorite kaiju is probably, because whenever I was young, Grandpa gave me a War of the Gargantuans and Rodan box set. So my favorite kaiju would probably either be Gyra from War of the Gargantuas or the original Mechagodzilla from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla.
Oh, there you go.
And so,
That's good.
if I can tell that they're monsters in suits, because I think it's really cool.
That explains a lot to me.
Yeah.
About
And then my
design.
favorite Godzilla design, I actually have it on my desk whenever I'm working, is the Megalo Doji from Godzilla vs. Megalon and the rest of the Showa films. I love the big eyes. He's just Godzilla. But yes, Final Wars Godzilla is also really great. He's like a Dragon Ball character with how he fights.
Literally, like in so many ways, it's super anime-y Godzilla.
Hey,
Exactly.
he wasn't the only one. You can't blame him for bringing.
And then
it
when I was I remember whenever the King of the Monsters trailer came out, I literally like shed a tear. I was like, I was on my way to Home Depot. I got a notification. I was like, ooh, I'm so excited for this song. I really hope it's good.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh,
And we lost Derek. No.
Damn. He's gone.
Oh man.
He'll probably be back.
But since we did get Savvy's take, well, Foxy, can you hear me, my dude? Are you there?
Yep.
So
loud and
yes,
clear.
now, great,
Go ahead.
perfect. So now, like I've asked both Grant and Savvy, what got you into Kaiju, and then who is your favorite Kaiju and your favorite Godzilla design, my man?
What mean to Kaiju? That's a very interesting question because it wasn't like some big movie like most of these guys have told. It was actually a Mexican movie about a giant dinosaur, and I would always like that movie and wanted more. But one day I saw the '98. That was my first like, ironically. So I always thought that was the actual design of Godzilla, and I was like, that's not pretty good. Why are people so hyped about this? And then I found out that Godzilla was a giant franchise, right?
Yes.
And so I started watching all the other movies. It just became an obsession to that point.
I'm actually curious, what was the giant dinosaur movie, the Mexican giant dinosaur movie that you were talking about? Because I'm actually curious just to watch it for context.
Should do that.
I can't actually like remember the name because I was like a little child when I first watched it, and I watched it on like TV, so I'd never seen it again, honestly.
Okay, I got you. That would probably be something we'd all have to probably research, and maybe we could do that as a group watch party or something if we could ever find it again. But also,
that would be fun.
Fox,
That'd be a fun stream.
Your favorite Kaiju and favorite Godzilla design?
My favorite Kaiju has to be Rodan.
There you go.
Clear as day.
Oh man.
And what would be your favorite
Godzilla
incarnation if you were to be more specific? Favorite incarnation of Rodan?
Oh, favorite Rodan. I like the new one, the 2019 one.
Yeah,
It has pretty neat aspects such as the bird beak and stuff, but and that it's Mexican. But I think I like the Fire Rodan version.
Oh, Fire Rodan. It's actually nice to see some Heisei love in 2020 because everyone loves to just poo on Heisei. So it's nice. So there you go. You know, Foxy made my day. Foxy's my favorite person out of all y'all. You need to step up your games now. So I'm sorry.
Ooh,
Cruel, huh?
He's my boy now. And now on to Kaiju.
Yeah,
What got you into Kaiju?
Hold up. Favorite Godzilla design?
I thought did he? No,
No, he did not.
No, you did Rodan.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The favorite Godzilla.
Go ahead.
Favorite Godzilla is the GMK one.
Yeah.
GMK or Godzilla 2000.
Hey, there you go. So he either makes Grant happy or he makes me happy. So you know what?
2000.
2000 was a really good movie. I love that one.
Yeah.
Don't you? I will kick you out of the stream, Grant. I better see some undying love. I swear to God.
I like the purple of the spikes. Okay, I like the purple.
It's a beautiful.
The movie itself ain't.
Can we pause for a moment?
Wait, what?
Chickenzilla. How dare you call Godzilla 2004 rat face?
Yeah. Yeah.
How dare you? I'm gonna beat this person's ass. Who is this?
I remember for my What Makes Godzilla a Well-Designed Kaiju video, I was originally going to make a rat meme about Final Wars. But
how do I ban someone from the chat?
I gave you no mod privileges here.
Unless he donates money, he's going.
Well, I don't get money for this. If anything, it'd probably go all the way to YouTube, and I'd be like, "But that's my money," and they'd be like, "No, it's not."
YouTube's the worst, but it's the only one we can use, so who cares?
That's true. And now on to Kaiju,
The
Zilla,
boy,
States, the man,
the original,
big screen. You know,
the semifinalist.
Kaiju. What is your favorite Kaiju? And we don't talk about your favorite Godzilla. I'm just kidding. Now go. Question.
All right. So what got me into Kaiju was when I was younger, my uncle and my dad, they had like all of the older Godzilla movies. I got to watch Showa, I got to watch Heisei, and then we would go to Blockbuster to get Godzilla 2000, GMK, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. I was lucky, I had it all. I like collected Bandai Godzilla figures when they were still good. You know, I was super into Godzilla. Oddly enough, didn't really care about Godzilla 98 or the series.
Really?
It just
The series?
wasn't my thing.
The series?
Yeah. The animated
I
series,
couldn't
I wasn't into it.
That's
But-
so weird. This is weird.
We got turn.
You're lying to me. You're probably lying to me right now.
What happened? Did you
No,
go
no,
into
I was
Godzilla
really
98
into,
toys and then you became a fan?
all the Showa movies, 98. I used to do little versus battles with my friends at school, where like Godzilla versus Kirby and stuff, because he liked Kirby. It was.
I mean, that's
It
no
was fun.
contest. Kirby would kick his ass.
Depends on the
We
guy.
can debate this.
But anyway,
I'll bring it to you.
anyway, but yeah, I used to do stuff like that when I was in first and second grade. We'd do little drawing battles where I'd like draw Godzilla on one side, and he also liked Star Wars, so we would have like AT-AT walkers and stuff. It was fun. And so yeah, I grew up with the movies. I had all the figures, and then for a while, I guess there wasn't much Godzilla content, and I don't know. My friend who didn't like Godzilla as much saw Godzilla 2014 before me, so I guess that was where I was around that time.
Damn.
Then I decided one day to just get back into it because, you know, I would watch Godzilla movies occasionally, and I still like Godzilla, but I had kind of lost it a bit for a while. But then I came back, and I made my accounts a few years ago now.
Yep.
Favorite Godzilla Kaiju?
Oh, it doesn't have to be a Godzilla Kaiju. It can be any Kaiju.
I have to think about that one.
Really? I
Could be
wouldn't-
Zilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
All right. And favorite Godzilla design. All right. So Godzilla 98 nowadays is one of my favorite creature designs of like all time. Aside from that, I really like Shin Godzilla, and one of my favorite designs is actually the poster version for Godzilla 1984. If you've seen
red
that,
one?
like X Plus figure or something.
Yeah, the big red one. I know exactly.
Yeah.
What you're talking about.
red.
I think
Like downward
the
shot
plates on that one, the tail, the face, everything. It's just so. It's amazing. If you had it in the classic color scheme and used it in the Heisei movies, I would have preferred that nowadays. But I don't hate the Heisei designs; they're cool. I just really like that one.
You can
And I
hate
wish
the
it was-
original Heisei design for Godzilla.
No.
Yes,
I really beautiful gift to me, God.
Maybe not Godzilla 1984, the one used in the movie, nah. But the poster version, it's so cool.
it is really fucking
Mhm.
cool.
And now we come to that time in the video or the stream technically. Now, what we did, this is going to be a running theme when it comes to Giant Monster Workshop, is where we have different kaiju that all of us have made, and we sort of just talk about the design process, influences that may be outside of kaiju, just what we do that makes our kaiju designs. So now that I am sharing, can y'all see this?
The boy.
Nice.
It's Christian.
So we'll start off with you, my good friend Grant. What do you got for us here?
This is Christian. This was my book tournament kaiju design that I made. He was specifically made to be an actual threat, like debate wise, but then I decided to remove debating from that tournament, so he just kind of got shoved to the side. But this design is one of my favorites. Do you have any questions for her, or should I just go?
No, just go into the whole design process. What were your thoughts about it, and
So,
sort of like where your influences led you?
So it's actually pretty interesting because the first kaiju tournament that I had was hey, Joel's here. Hey. But the first kaiju tournament that I had, I chose to use Taurus, who is an older design that I was going to use for my own book series, which doesn't exist anymore. He was an older design though, and I wanted to make my own design for this kaiju tournament because for the books that I was going to write for the author's verse and stuff, they were all just old designs that I was repurposing and revamping. So I wanted a fresh new kaiju. So like 2 days before making Christian, I was in Barnes and Nobles and I got one of those gigantic books of just pictures of animals.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just scrolling through it, and I used. I like using references. I was taught to use references to create giant monsters and stuff and creature designs because it makes it feel more natural. Because I don't want to just base it off some giant monster that someone else put the effort into making. So
yeah.
I ended up finding two animals that I really thought were like striking looking, which were it was the Borneo earless monitor and the Borneo earless monitor, which is a cool looking monitor from Indonesia, and the giant isopod, the deep sea isopod. As you can see, yeah, I thought those two
in the design now.
Yeah, it's
I see it too.
Yeah, the head is specifically referenced from the Borneo earless monitor, as is the body itself. The plates are clearly based on the giant isopod. The legs are essentially taken from the giant isopod. The only thing that weren't almost directly with Kaiomo Films.
Yep, Kaimo.
That is a good comparison, but no.
The kaiju's name was Vishnu in the Godzilla 2014.
Yeah, which by the way, no relation to this one. I completely forgot that one existed, to be honest. But the only real traits that I didn't directly reference for this design were the tail itself, which is just kind of. I just think it's kind of fucking rad looking, honestly. It's just the long, flexible, kind of scorpion-like tail, but it has way more joints than a scorpion's tail would. And the details of the head and the legs are different from the two designs that I chose. The legs are essentially just normal Godzilla-esque legs, but instead of having multiple clawed toes, it just has like you know how night boots are like pointed?
Yeah, with Sabatons, how it's always just a plate onto a plate, and then sometimes it tapers off, sometimes it sort of elongates depending on them. Yeah,
that's what it is for this. It's just like a long single toe. Because it's essentially like it's like the first two pairs of limbs, but it's just specialized to be like a leg. But the other like traits that weren't inspired by the two references were the eyes, the head, the details of the head, and especially the eye and the two front fangs. The two front fangs were actually they were. I don't like to reference based on other giant monsters because it's. I just feel it's kind of cheap to go back to the bag of tricks essentially and grab something. However, I like making what are they called? Homages. I wanted to make an homage to Cloverfield with the design, and the two upwards facing fangs I thought were reminiscent of Cloverfield's like fangs that you see on the design, which like stick up over the mouth and shit.
Yeah, because it's not kind of like curves upward like this with the
it
jaw
like latches
kind of
in
like that. Yeah,
it fits in. It's a sick design. That Cloverfield is one of the most underrated kaiju designs, I believe.
I need to watch that movie.
It's really good.
Cloverfield?
I have not yet.
How dare you? Come on, man. It's like
I'll leave. I'll leave.
No, don't you dare. I'll punch you.
But Potato quickly asked, which one of you is behind the horny? I assume he is still talking about the main kaiju on screen, which is made by, again, Grant, the true Bioman. So
the horny, what? Yeah, that was me. The other one design that I added in, design trait that I added in that was not referenced by anything was the giant eye in the center, which is essentially just because the head looked a little plain, and I wanted to make him look kind of alien and unique more than he already was. So I just smacked a big hole on the top of his head.
I think that's
kind of nice because it breaks up the color on the head, because you're looking at mostly a gray body with the obviously the underbody being that kind of like I'm guessing that's tan.
It's a tan.
It's tan.
It's a tannish color. Yeah. Yeah, he's a very gray kaiju. he's based on giant isopods, they're kind of gray, but they're also kind of like a whitish color.
Mm-hmm.
So I just decided the gray will probably look good. So I did the gray. I think the color scheme is fairly all right. He's not the most visually striking color-wise, but I think he fits a certain aesthetic. He fits a more grounded-looking kaiju design.
Well, I'd also say that since like he's covered in the armor breaks up the design visually, because I would say if you did this with a character that had just pure skin, it may look a lot more just like a gray mass. But he's got black outlines help break it up into making it look more visually distinct.
Yeah, the plates are directly inspired by isopods. You can see that, though it's a little, I'm not the best artistic wise, but as you can see on his right above his limbs, the plates stop. It's because they go outward. It's kind of like an isopod's like.
Yeah, they jet out like right here.
Yeah. And they stop at the tail, which is directly inspired by isopods. But the head is inspired by the Borneo lizard, earless monitor. The tail is the body and head and tail are monitor. The plates and legs are giant isopod, and the tail is kind of scorpion. Besides the blade isn't scorpion. That's just a blade, which is also you can't see it in this design, but he's also inspired partially by sea snails, which have because his main attack, which is he has a homage to Shin Godzilla, because his main attack, he opens his mouth and a single like tongue tooth based on the sea slugs. What is it called? It's like that tongue thing that sea slugs have.
The harpoon thing?
Yeah, the harpoon thing. He shoots that out. Yeah. And at the end, it's like kind of got like a hose end to it, and he just fires a like pressure, like you know how pressurized water cutters can just like cut through like metal and shit.
Mm-hmm.
He has that, but it's venom and it's long range, so it cuts like it cuts kind of like Shin Godzilla mixed with a water cutter.
It's almost like if you turned a Xenomorph's blood into a super soaker, kind of.
Well, it's more like cyanide than an acid. So it's like if it cuts you, you're dead. You die instantly. But it doesn't burn you or anything. It's just like okay,
I got it.
It just the pressurized water, the pressurized of the venom itself will cut into you, and then it'll just get into your bloodstream, and you'll die. And that's mostly the design process that I came up with for Christian. He's my advice to anyone who may not know how to make giant monsters is to just use references because they really help. They're really useful.
Thank you, Grant. And now on to Savvy and this guy right here. He's got a tie. You have to explain this to the audience.
I have a lot of explaining to do on Gyro Man. Okay, for people who are, looking at it, obviously the first thought would go to Ultraman, Go Godman, and Go Green Man. One that's specifically the reason why I named him Gyro Man is because I wanted a name that started with the letter G.
Does he have like a gyro-like attack? A gyro beam? The gyro cutter?
Literally gyro.
I always pronounced him as Euro Man because that's the proper pronunciation.
Thank you for the change. Yes, also Zone Fighter.
Yeah, Zone Fighter.
Wait, does he make gyro meat? Or gyro meat? Gyro meat?
Gyro.
I will always call it gyro.
Gyro Man. But I made, I made Gyro Man. I was about to call him Euro Man. How dare you? I made Gyro the Brawl of Behemoths tournament.
Oh yeah. Fun stuff.
I drew him up. I drew this version of him for the Brawl of Behemoths. I originally had an idea for a comic. It was going to be called Showa. As I said earlier, my favorite Godzilla era is the Showa era. And so the whole idea was that it was kind of like if those, TV show characters such as Ultraman or Zone Fighter, if that was real and it was filmed as if it was like live TV, but it was real. So eventually he loses his job and Gyro Man was going to be one of the characters, and he was a real robot that whenever the show ended, he was going to go become a lawyer. Really successful lawyer, and that's the whole, it was, the big joke was that he doesn't talk. Kind of like Jaguar, he doesn't, talk, he just makes, he nods his head and people just understand him.
Yeah.
So that's why he has the tie, and he has that little shape in his body that kind of looks like a suit, where like the impression of a suit. Originally, his whole body was going to be the same color as the little black accents, because I was like, okay, well, I want it to look like he's kind of wearing a suit. But I decided I'd rather go with the more Ultraman, those kind of styles.
I like that the tide grows with him.
I mean, everything grows. I mean, if you were to pick up a person, the person would grow. I don't know if they'd be able to survive, as gravity would just kind of like Godzilla in real life, but...
I think it's interesting. I like the ring detailing that comes from like down from the stomach up and then goes around. And you also don't use a like any kind of thing around the chest, like a time color, anything like that. Did you actively try to avoid having something directly similar to Ultraman with like a color timer at the front? And just ring that way because of that, or was there another reason?
That's the reason why it's on his head. I was like, well, if I put it on his chest, people automatically think Ultraman. It's not really a timer. It's just like there because I thought, okay, well, you know, a lot of
It's just aesthetic.
this
It's just for aesthetic.
it glows. So do his eyes. I thought, you know, bringing attention to his face, his very stoic looking expression.
His
I tried not to. I really did try to avoid using colors of Ultraman and you know any of those. I was like, you know, what colors haven't been used, or if they have been used, you know, used less often. Whenever I was talking to the other artists, I was like, what color should I be? And someone said, just use the same colors as Ultraman. I was like, I really do like the idea of using red, but I don't want to use red because Ultraman used red.
Mm-hmm. And as well,
Ultraman
Godman
was
also
fun.
used red as well.
Exactly, and I didn't use green because there's someone specifically called Green Man.
Even Zone Fighter uses red and blue to that extent as well.
Well, great. Well, now I have to scrap the whole thing. Thanks, Zim. Give her.
No, don't scrap it because this color scheme's fucking awesome, dude.
No, he's gonna be bright pink now, all because of what you said. Your words have consequences.
The bright pink lawyer robot. I love it.
I know someone in chat asked if his tie is a weapon.
God.
Yeah, so in the specific, you know, I was using a debate. I did, you know, want to use the idea of him using his tie, kind of like how they did in the movie Ant-Man, where he jumped on the guy's back and used the tie to throw him over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, or was it No, it was Umbrella Academy, and I was like, yeah.
No, they did something. I think they did do something similar in Ant-Man. But
Yeah.
like,
I need to rewatch Ant-Man. That's all I gotta say.
I'd have to rewatch Ant-Man as well.
But yes, it is his Go-Go Gyro tie. It's not like Inspector Gadget where he says Go-Go Gyro tie and it just appears. He also has a briefcase. I didn't draw the briefcase because I thought no briefcase.
I just realized would he be able to beat most kaiju if he bought them? Just like win them in a legal battle?
Yes, probably.
This kaiju is my property.
You can't tell people my main strategy of having my kaiju and it's just buy them and sue them.
Well, you know, he's a lawyer, so we need to adapt to his rules, and then we beat him in his own game. So
the one way
kaiju goes to throw a punch, and he's like, "Objection! This is assault.
This is assault and battery." And there was intent, so if I died, it would have been classed as first-degree murder.
The one
you
way
were going to kaiju jail for a very, very long time.
The one way to defeat Joe's being a debate, just take him to the legal court.
Exactly.
It's done. Volnoros, that's assault. It's manipulation. Get out of here.
But yeah, so all my kaijus that I've made for, you know, different tournaments and stuff like that, they're all Showa looking kaijus, and I use a lot of Showa homages to them.
Very.
Like a lot. The first kaiju I used for my first tournament, if you guys ever find it, it's literally just King Kong, but like with a mammoth's head.
Before Behemoth, by the way.
Monkey.
Before Behemoth. Legendary ripped us off.
Just to remember, anytime Kong
yes, that's what I was saying. As soon as I saw Behemoths and King of the Monsters, I was like, Ultra, that's my kaiju.
Mothra
stole it from me.
Mothra.
How dare they?
Just remember.
Use Gyroman to sue Legendary.
Exactly. That's exactly why I made him.
This is your revenge now. We now know your entire strategy.
Oh, King Kappa! Don't go through this chat without mentioning King Kappa.
Oh yes, King Kappa. He was literally because my favorite kaiju design is the Gargantuas, and I was like, I really like how it's just like it looks like they're wearing
big
uniforms, really big dudes. And so for my other kaiju, King Kappa, which I might, you know, if we ever do this again, I might talk about him. He's literally, I was like, Hulk Hogan, monster. So he's like rude. He's got attitude. He's like flipping people off, and I was like, yeah, I love this guy.
Let me tell you something, brother. You may be big, you may be reptilian, you may have an atomic breath, but you don't have these gains, son.
You got nothing, brother.
And you smell what Kappa is cooking.
You smell what the Cap is cooking.
He's cooking it in his stupid fucking...
I mean, we didn't...
He's boiling something in his...
Every time as soon as I mention Kappa and you open your mouth, Foxy,
Instead of the people's elbow, it's the savvy's elbow or the toon elbow. There you go.
Yeah, for everyone who wants to know, Foxy did kill my last kaiju.
All right, I'm gonna shut up about Toon
Oh,
Kappa
don't-
for now.
That fight was fucking awesome, though. Give credit to Kappa. That fight, I made him kick the shit out of Ishmael a couple times. Just
And
break it
also,
down.
But yeah, that's my kaiju.
since we've gotten savvies, now it's Foxy's turn, and he's got a crab. He's a little crab.
Oh, that's misleading.
Just a
go
little
into
crab.
Foxy, explain.
Well, all right. So
That's
most of my
personal.
kaiju are based on like mythos. Like this one is the Kraken, literally. How I didn't want to just make a giant octopus or like some giant monster with tentacles because that's lame. Like, oh yeah, you're so creative. You make a Kraken an octopus. Wow. That being said, I did make him an octopus. However, I told myself, hey, octopuses are really clever. So instead of just being a giant octopus, he started like killing other animals and started making like some sort of. I like to describe it as a biological mecha, like a Frankenstein styled mech
Yeah, because
out
you
of
can kind
the
of see it
flesh
right
and bones
here.
of his enemies.
Like there's a hook there, and then all of his tentacles are just coming out of this poor crab.
That is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought that was
Yeah,
a
that is
genius
really
idea.
cool.
Like look at his poor face. Look at it. Look at his face. Just
He has. It's just
It's brutal. That's what it
Look
Mr.
is.
Krabs.
are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Squidward got
I think Mr. Krabs is finally feeling it.
But actually, I am curious. Is
Well, it's definitely not
the
going anymore.
is the top area like a rock, or is it part of a different animal shell? Because I can definitely tell this is a crab, and then he's right here. So is he
Yeah.
using more than just one animal to completely create his little
He
suit?
is using more than one animal, and yeah, like that's like a shell of a big like a big conch, and like the dude just saw a hermit crab and thought, oh, this is a great idea, and so he just straight up murdered a crab and a conch and just went inside of it.
That's literally the meaning of hibbity hoppity. This is now my property. Like I can just
Yeah,
imagine him
exactly.
every time he kills something, he just goes, "This is mine now."
Squibbity squibbity.
Yeah,
Swoogity.
Oh, it's such a fun design.
and like my advice for anyone who wants to create their own kaiju would be, if you have an idea and you think it's like a pretty good idea, but you think it's generic, like, oh, dinosaur that shoots out laser, try to exploit that idea to the maximum.
No,
Exactly what I did.
agree
Like,
so much with that.
an octopus is intelligent,
Just,
Because, like, right here,
so
what you're
if
seeing
an
is that,
octopus is
like,
that intelligent, it's
because like what's actually really interesting about what Foxy did here is that this is the design we do see, but if he really wanted to, he could write an entire story about him killing another series of animals, and then he has an entirely different design. All he needs to keep is the aesthetic of the squid.
that's
Like it's very flexible in that sense.
like that's what I did for Zarathos in the original tournament. He had like a whole bunch. He used weapons. He was the only kaiju in the tournament to use weapons as like a primary form of attack. And
yeah,
I
Sabi
would
doesn't really like that, does he?
He killed my kaiju.
it was cool. I went way too brutal on that fight, to be honest. I'm sorry. I was in a weird place in my life at that time.
Everything hurts.
I had to take it out on him.
And I also know someone named Rachel Robinson is saying how we're doing. We're all doing really well. Thank you very much for asking. But again, I do have to give Foxy props for his Kraken design because that's definitely super unique. And speaking of Kaiju Zillas, Kaiju that ended up killing a lot of people. Kaiju, you have the floor now. Before we start booing you off.
All right. So when I first joined the tournament, I decided that I would create something that would be a winner. He was supposed to be so overly dangerous in hand-to-hand combat that you could not beat him unless you had some other kind of abilities.
Like a lot of nukes.
So yeah. Some people, I think, Savvy, you took inspiration from Showa, more Showa Kaiju.
Yes.
I went more Pacific Rim, where you can see they have those giant claws, and giant arms, and horns, and spikes, and they have this armored look to them. And that's more the inspiration I went with. But again, I was going for something that would be just a tank where you could not take him on unless you had some additional abilities. So he's got a huge head covered in armor and spikes. He's got like this neck shield, kind of like a Triceratops, or yeah, I guess closer to Triceratops because like Styracosaurus has these giant holes in it. Anyway, he's got these spikes on the frill there. He's got a giant horn on his head. He has giant bone sheets on the outside of his mouth, kind of like a Dunkleosteus, that ancient fish with basically like sheets. But I also gave him teeth on the inside of his mouth. So he's got those giant, huge teeth. And he's got like one tooth that goes up in the front. Yes, right there. I gave him a larger chin just so that like he can use that to bash into opponents. Anyway,
well, real quickly, are you completely sure it was just to bash people, or was it a 98 reference? Be honest with me. Don't you lie to me.
I think that was too. It's more exaggerated than 98, but it also gives him a kind of menacing appearance. Where, like, if you look at, I don't know, some old-timey villains, they have, like, this goatee or something where, like, the chin is out. It's one of those. It gives them a more, I don't know, it also kind of makes them look like the Chad from the Chad meme. You know? Anyway.
No, that's Christian. YouTube Christian that looks like a fucking Chad from the Chad meme.
Yeah.
You gave,
anyway,
you gave Christian the fucking biggest chin I've ever seen on the Kaiju. This is mandible.
Then for the body, the neck is super muscled. The arms, I made the arms very huge. I gave him giant claws. I gave him elbow spikes and spikes that run all along the arm there. I made that part of the arm there super dense, especially. So, you know, whenever you see characters fighting, they tend to block using that part of the arm, and so that part is more armored. For his back, I had considered giving him spines like Godzilla or something, but I mean, not exactly like Godzilla. But then I decided if he's going to be fighting and rolling around with other kaiju, those spines just get in the way.
Oh, don't give me any credit. You asked me if you should add spikes, and I said if he's wrestling around, he's gonna get stuck.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember that. Don't you take that away from me?
Okay, fine. Some more inspiration there. So instead, he's got like an armored back. He's got 4 arms so that, you know, he can fight someone who's usually got like 2 arms, but then he's got 2 more to continue attacking. I gave him shorter legs just so that he's more stable and just they're thick, powerful legs still, and he's got spikes on them, and he's got like huge claws. I gave him armor, a long armored tail, and the tail actually has like, or it's supposed to have a row of little, kind of like eyes along the side of the tail, which ends in this club mace thing. It's more for bashing opponents and impaling, and the tail was super flexible to where like he could be fighting with his four arms, and then the tail could come up over and then stab an opponent from there, or go around or under, or
It's
wherever.
true.
The tail also has all these spines at the bottom, which help him grip the ground or grip another kaiju. The tail is super muscular, so it could wrap around and grip and constrict another kaiju. And as mentioned, I did give him weapons because I thought, all right, so if he's so overly into battle and stuff, what would cause a creature to become that way? How would you get that? And so I decided he would be a warlord of his planet. He owns this entire planet where he's conquered all the kaiju on this planet, and while doing so, he's very intelligent. So he whenever he kills a kaiju, he'll use the remains of that kaiju in order to make a weapon or armor or whatever it is. He's very intelligent in that way. And he eventually figures out how to forge weapons out of this metal that's like super, super powerful and dense. And, so he made like a shield and a sword and a spear and
Axe.
I forgot what. An axe. Yes. Yeah. So that was Zarathus. He was. Oh, and the name. Geez, designing a kaiju for me. Usually it's fairly easy, especially if I have an idea. But the name was so hard to figure out. Eventually, I don't know. I was looking up Greek words, translations, like I don't know, conqueror, destroyer, stuff like that, but translated into Latin and Greek, and none of them really called out to me. Like that fits, or that sounds cool, but then I'm not exactly sure how I ended up with Zarathus. But Z sounds like, it's like the end, and then Wrath. Wrath, that's pretty cool. And then us, that kind of, I don't know. Anyway, so he ended up
works.
as, yes, it works.
It's a
I think it's a
badass
fitting name.
I also do love the fact that someone in the chat says so he can build like Big Monkey.
Someone also commented hashtag Uraka was robbed.
I know, I saw that. I was like, ooh.
I'm glad people have
the same body proportions as Joe Swanson from Family Guy.
Also, I noticed that Kaiju was the only person who sent me multiple, but he also gave me the 3 different colors. Go into detail about these 3 different color schemes and what was the process behind these.
All right, so with the color schemes, I knew Zarathus, he wasn't going to be super colorful, but I didn't think just coloring him black and tan was going to work either. So I went with a few different options, which, to be honest, I still haven't fully decided on. The top right, he's got brown, but he's also got like a counter shading with a reddish, kind of a, I don't know, pinkish color scheme there. The darker bits are more armored, as you can see just on his arm there, and up to the tail. Yes, of course, it's it's not fully colored nicely, but you get the idea. Then there was just brown in the bottom right, which, it kind of looks cool, but I think it's also kind of bland. Well, more of a bland color scheme, I think, could work for Zarathus. I also do like the blue, where he's got like blue and tan, and there's counter shading, and just different colors that kind of stand out, I think. Yeah. So I think the different colors, each of these work for Zarathus, but again, I'm not sure which one I will finally settle on.
I'm noticing in the chat a lot of people are digging the blue in particular.
I dig the blue.
I'm more of the brown.
I also dig the blue.
Right.
I
Or the lower right. But there's actually there was another color option that I don't think you sent, but it was like a black back with like a gray underside with like red around the eyes, and that reminded me of there's a T-Rex there was a T-Rex documentary that had that black and red.
That one.
Yeah,
like red and gray, and it was so fucking cool looking, and it looked super cool.
Yeah. Yep. I think that one was actually inspired by that T-Rex, but then that and what was it, like the Ultimasaurus or something from?
Well, the Ultimasaurus is like red and black because it's got like red stripes with mostly a red body, and then the gray is kind of like underneath it. I might be remembering that color scheme wrong, but I know it's primarily made up of black, red, and gray.
Yeah.
It's cool.
He almost had that color scheme, but then I thought it was too similar and decided against it. I also didn't want his head like this weird brightly colored bit, so yeah. But anyway, he was designed to be just very difficult to beat in hand-to-hand combat, and I think the Pacific Rim monsters really have that aspect to them. Whereas I think the Showa monsters, because they're more connected to a man in a suit, they don't have the giant arms, that Pacific Rim monsters have. So like they have that longer reach, and so that's why
they have monkey arms.
True.
Big monkey.
They did, and they would change size depending on different parts of the film. That was funny. That was really funny trying to add that to the size chart.
Wait, Mujo?
No, the King Kong from King Kong versus Godzilla. His arms change size because I don't know. The arms have these extensions, but also there are points where they don't do the extension and they have it just where his hand connects to.
They just don't.
Anyway,
they stop.
There's also times where he's a puppet, and one where he's an action figure.
That like stop motion is the best.
They're falling down the hill.
Not this in that movie, by the way. That movie's awesome.
As well as Kaiju, what would be your advice for someone designing Kaiju?
All right, so for Zarathus, I had an idea for what I wanted, and I had the inspiration, of what I wanted. But for me, sometimes if you just want to make a kaiju, just start by doodling random shapes and then further cement the shape of what you want. Which, I've done that before. You want, say, longer arms, you start, with circles and, lines for the arms, and just start with the shape, start with an idea of what you want, and then go from there. If you want something to be very imposing, sharp angles are usually a good idea. If you want something that's maybe more of a peaceful kaiju, go with rounder shapes. I think that works better. But yeah, if you're going to design a kaiju, have an idea and do a bunch of random shapes and then further cement the idea. Also, let me see. Because sometimes I'll even design a kaiju and I don't really have an idea of what I want. I just do the shapes and then the design eventually becomes fleshed out. So, yeah, there's room for experimentation there. Also, of course, study anatomy, what animals have in their anatomical structure. So try to replicate that. You want something that's near reality, but not quite. There's a few good artists on Instagram that I follow who take this approach. They'll borrow from real life animals, but they'll mix them together in order to create something new and interesting. So that's one way I think you could design a kaiju.
I'd say that's a very good sentiment to have, and now I have to probably ask you who those people are so I can give them shout outs so people can follow them. But I guess finally now it's on to myself. And so this was not a kaiju I did for the tournament. This was a kaiju I was working on for another series that got assimilated into another series. So this is Gravira. So the whole process behind this is that this original kind of stick figure drawing was, I took this when I was about probably like 5 or 6 or so, when I had like a small tiny sketchbook. And I have this really bad habit where I'll have monster designs in my head and I'll keep drawing them out until finally I come to a design that I really like and I'll stick with it, and then I'll change it a few years down the line. So what happened was that I took this design right here. The basic concept was just work along the lines of having a sort of insect-like head, and particularly I would say this design worked a lot better in that sense, where I didn't want to give it mandibles or anything like that. So I thought maybe like sort of a little tendrily filter feedy kind of look to it. And
Like
even then you can see
lamprey,
here
maybe?
what was that?
Lamprey, they have this suction mouth with
kind of like a lamprey, except there's like no teeth there at all because it's still like an invertebrate.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? This is it's based on that one Precambrian creature, right?
Yeah.
I remember. I don't remember what. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Because its eyes are, at least I know that.
Yeah, the eyes are super compound. Originally, you could see in this old drawing, I had him on the sides of his head, which now they sort of jut out. Again, makes him look a lot more insectoid-like in structure. And then with this, I decided that I kind of liked how the mandibles looked originally, but then I thought I like the idea. He looks a lot more docile without the mandibles there, because in terms of characterization, he's not a particularly aggressive kaiju. And I felt that like if I had to draw him in another angle, the mandibles would again make him just look too aggressive. So only having the filter feeding mouth worked better in this sense. And then moving down to the arms here, these whip-like arms, which evolving from this look here, which were just whips, become thorns. So what the monster particularly takes influence from would be Gagi from Ultraman Tiga, and then Gudon from Return of Ultraman or Ultraman Jack. And I always liked my skinny kaiju, so like unlike Gudon, where he has like a normal arm at about this point here, and then it turns into whips. And Gagi, it's sort of similar, where it's like a dinosaur arm, 2 fingers, and then he has his whips. I just decided the whole arm is going to be a whip. And I would say Gagi's influence transfers over into the legs, which are sort of digigrade, but also somewhat plantigrade, man in a suit like in structure. And of course, he carries over the tail, which I would say the spines and stuff do resemble Gudon, but they have a lot more Godzilla like structure. And even, again,
they remind
like,
me of Godzilla 98.
Yeah,
forward point.
The forward pointing
spines.
98 spines, again, I've liked them, but they've never been very Godzilla-y to me. So I thought that it's always been a design aspect that I can put somewhere and people can say, oh, it kind of looks like Godzilla. Yeah, mine.
Give me that.
But with the green here, with this coloration, was that I thought of him being a burrower all the time. So all of this is like a grassy like substance, and it breaks up the brown, which is obviously a very boring color. But I think brown can work depending on the kaiju. But with him, I think if he was all brown, it would look way too flat, in my personal opinion. So I'd say because his spines are gray and his back's green, this looks all like rocks. So if he was burrowed under the ground, you'd have just little mounds of dirt, grass, and then large rocks just right here.
Yeah.
And I like even grassy, like a seagrass kind of thing. I think that's a really cool design aspect, actually. That's it'd be really cool to see it like as a figure or as a suit, just like see it like shaking around as he moves.
I would say that the more I've been trying to think about getting into 3D animation, I would love to see what I could do to like make him look very flowery or more just kind of natural in a sense, where you just see all the blades of grass on his back sort of flow with the wind of a game engine and stuff.
That'd be fucking awesome.
That would look very awesome. Yeah.
The tail, I just kind of felt that like I needed something to put on the tail. However, having spines that push back like this, I felt just kind of visually took away from the design, and I think I wanted more attention to be brought to the eyes. So having the subdued spines at the end helps guide your eye from here up with the green following all the way to get to the face and the eyes. So like it was definitely for me when I was designing it. I don't think realism was really my goal here in particular, but definitely it was sort of.
Well, we make monsters.
Yeah, but I mean, like again, realism does have its place if you were trying to do that, but
yeah,
I definitely believe that it was color that was the main focus.
Yeah,
but of course, I also want to say that we did have Twinkie was originally in the chat.
I don't know about the rest of you guys, but you're kind of going in and out.
Derek was supposed to be here.
For me. I'd say that's just for you, Kaiju, because I can hear
it's been lagging a little bit for me, but it's all right. It's only like every once in a while. Derek was supposed to be here.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Derek was supposed to be here to tell you about the abysmal here, but
yeah, this was his kaiju. But I think probably if we're able to get Derek back on the stream, and then we also get Chose, and we'll have them do their kaiju at the start of the next episode. But what I did want to do to end the stream was I wanted to take a certain kaiju design and everyone give their takes on it and sort of like what they may like or not like about this design. And I thought that in the spirit of Ultraman Z being an Ultraman series premiering on YouTube, that I'd say is very nice to Super A to do during the pandemic, that we look at the first episode, Ultraman Z Monster Genagarg. So I think technically because Kaiju was the last person to talk about his Kaiju, he'll start us off. What do you like or not like about this design, or what would you have done to change the idea of this character? And then for context, this is a space shark monster, space shark alien.
All right. So for this design, I remember when I first saw the picture of it, I didn't see the full design, and I thought it was pretty cool. And then I saw the rest of it, and I think the face is cool, and looking from the front, it looks pretty neat. But I don't know.
looking at it
I
from any
feel
other
like
side.
if he's trying to be a threat to Ultraman, then I mean he's got the blade in the front, which looks cool. He's got sharp teeth, but nothing to defend himself in the back. His arms are really short, so he's really going to depend on his face to defend himself or attack.
And it doesn't look like his face is very mobile either. He looks pretty.
Yeah.
It looks like it's not moving too much.
Yeah.
Looks like
Because
he's gonna get kicked in the face.
You're looking right here. Essentially, the suit actor's head's about here. His arms are right around here, and they're not even. I don't even believe they're inside his arms themselves. I think there's just a contraption inside that suit there for him to flop those arms around, and obviously his legs come right here.
I think there's also something to move the face too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's cool how you can see where the person would fit in the suit. I think it does look like a semi-aquatic creature with the fins. That's pretty cool, but I don't know. He kind of seems. He reminds me of a shark and a leaf hopper. If you've ever seen that kind of insect, where they're very short-bodied, like he's kind of short from nose to tail, but they usually have this structure on the back that looks kind of cool.
I've seen it. I know what these are.
Yeah.
So color scheme wise, it seems very kaiju with more of a solid color. From what I can tell here, it's like a grayish, which works for a shark. But then it's also got this red, and using red in a design really pops, right? It draws your attention. Red in the natural world usually means something is dangerous. So this is a good clue looking at the creature that maybe it's dangerous and you don't want to mess with it. I like the way the teeth are. They aren't all perfectly straight. They seem kind of jagged. And I think whenever you use that in a design, I think it gives this extra bit of, I don't know, coolness or something. It gives it the impression of maybe he's been hit in the face a few times before and his teeth got messed up. Or maybe he's growing so many teeth and he's mutated or something, and now they're growing out of his face. That, I think, is interesting.
Well, also you can sort of see right here, if I can zoom in a little bit more, there's actually teeth inside his mouth too, like right here. There's a whole row of teeth like there.
Yeah, that I think is cool. Reminds me of Biollante.
Or Skullcrawler.
And then for the legs, I think it's cool that despite it's a person in a suit, they were able to get the leg joints to appear as though he's more dinosaur bird-like. So he's not quite as plantigrade as, say, most Godzilla designs.
Yeah, like right here, you can see the front there curves and then goes down. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm surprised about, especially for the man in the suit, because even in the episode, he's actually pretty mobile, which I'm surprised about, because you'd think that they're going to have a lot of like extra technicians having parts to allow him to move.
I think it's that the legs are just wide enough that he can just like walk. His like foot can just go straight down.
Yeah.
Because like look at how wide his like foot is. His like legs are super wide and they kind of like connect awkwardly. I think he can just like walk normally.
True. Well, if that is the case, they hide the effect really well in the episode he appears in. So
again, I haven't seen him moving around, so I don't know if he's just kind of walking like or if he's like actually walking. But
I would also say Kaiju, like, if you were to design the Kaiju more, what would you keep the design as is, or what would you change majorly to it?
Well, I would lengthen it because here he looks very short. I would do something more. I would give him more fins. Lengthened kind of like that, but also just like a longer tail.
Yeah.
Like you would see the body, but also like this longer tail. I would thicken the neck because here it looks like he's got a big head, a tiny neck, and then a big body. I think more support for the neck, more neck muscles would make him look more intimidating. I feel, just having a larger, thicker neck means when he bites down or uses his head, he would have more support to be able to appear, to be able to lift other kaiju or Ultraman or whatever. And it would also, I think, look more shark-like. But if you want to go further away from a shark, there are ways you could do that. I think in the face, it's somewhat shark-like, but not really. Like you can see a sort of almost crocodilian dinosaur look.
I think
just because of how elongated the snout is and everything.
The head mostly reminds me of those
have
the fin sharks.
A shorter face.
The head kind of reminds me of the fin shark. Like those ones that show up off the shore of Japan sometimes, like those. They have really backwards facing teeth, and they got this really gross face.
I think I know what you're referring to, but like I cannot manifest what one looks like in my mind right now.
I could send you it, but I don't want to pick up my phone right now. I don't want to interrupt the stream with that.
But actually, I'll go last. So next would be Foxy. What's your opinion on Genagarg here? Would you change it at all, or do you just overall think the design just kind of works fine on its own?
Yeah, I would change it, but I mostly like the concepts, like being a shark and all of this, but he just looks so weird. Like I don't dig the part where he looks like the hunchback of them. Like I don't like that at all. I would like make his head go up a little bit long. His tail definitely has to be a bit longer, and yeah, that's mainly what I would change of him. Like a less awkward posture. If yeah, basically that.
Oh no, I definitely understand that there, because like the neck angle and with what Kaiju saying regarding his neck there, he has like essentially no neck. If we were to say his spine goes from here, there, and then arcs all the way back down.
That wouldn't really make sense, like biologically speaking, though.
Yeah, if we were to be more realistic, it's probably like here and then goes down like that. Probably like right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I'm gonna save my. You can finish up, Diego. Just take it away. I'll say my words.
But yeah, Diego, you pretty much essentially just work with the posture more. Would there be any kind of other proportions that you'd be changing up, or not really?
No, I actually, now that I envision the poster change, I kind of dig the design more. I would work with a different color scheme though. Like it looks very bright for a shark. Any reef sort of deep sea creature wouldn't look like that. At least not with the red.
What would be your color scheme's idea then? I'm actually interested in hearing this.
I would either go for a normal gray and white coloration, or more like a whale shark, like with the little sand like color.
Yellow. I think they're yellow actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little yellow spots. That'd be kind of nice. That'd be a little change of pace, honestly.
I think that could be cool.
Yeah, no, that would definitely work out interestingly. I think also with like the change of the design, you'd also probably be seeing like, if anything, all of this just, if this goes away, it would probably I don't know, because it feels like there's a lot of stuff going on here, and then none of that good detail is here at all.
Yeah,
Like all
it's the back.
around.
The back is completely plain. It's besides the big hump and like that little spine that's jutting out. It's completely bare, essentially.
Yeah, essentially. Until you get
exactly.
I think
So you
the
get
first
to-
half is very impressive. Like if you
Yeah.
cover up the back half with your hand and just look at the front, it looks so cool. But then you
Yeah.
move your hand
The
and you
guy
just see it's like
just like an elephant seal. They just like
it's just
tore
wah.
the tail off an elephant seal.
Like actually, if you take off his head and you see like the part like my cursor's over,
Yeah.
if you made that an eye, you make this spot here an eye, you change his arms to be actual arms and just get rid of his head, he'd be a really interesting alien design.
That's actually there's a guy, Go to Rock, I think. That it would look a lot like his what's his fucking name?
His penguin kaiju?
No, his Mothman kaiju. I forgot what his name is. Deathwing.
No.
It would look a lot like Deathwing if he just had the wings and he had that color scheme.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I think that design's fucking awesome. I'm gonna keep my opinion for this design though. Just I think Sabi, I believe it's your turn. Unless Diego.
Yep. What Diego, do you got anything else to say or no?
I think that's it. Like, I don't know, the main thing. I could even keep the caution, but just the poster, like that's a no for me.
Yeah,
He looks very awkward.
I agree there completely. And now we go into Savvy. It's here.
I don't want to be that person, but I think the main thing that would fix this kaiju suit is if you took it to a field and then burnt it.
Damn it, Sabi. I was supposed to be the one that was harsh.
I really hate
that. This design is garbage.
You're both going to be harsh, so you guys go at the same time. Double team.
Okay, so I'll just say my thing. So,
this design is
everything about character design is, important. Every little tiny thing. So
and
if it's
ruins every little tiny thing.
Why does it have legs?
Yeah, why? Why does it have legs on the back, especially?
Yeah, like
okay, if I wanted to fix this, I'd make it. That one walrus kaiju, Maguma.
Yeah, Maguma.
Make it.
I would make it more like Maguma.
Oh yeah.
Stretch it out.
Make it and take away that dumb hump up its back.
You guys see the Muppet Uncle Deadly, the little dragon Muppet?
I have not seen that.
He looks like Uncle Deadly.
I'm gonna be honest. I can't believe none of you have pointed out the fact they just kind of took a knife and like hot glued it onto the end of this kaiju design. Like that's not a biological addition to this creature. That's just a knife. They
it looked like an Orga tried to absorb either Knife Head or Giron from Gamera.
Unlike the thing with Giron, Giron's head is a lot more well implemented into the design.
Yeah,
where this one it just
Giron's head is the knife. This is literally just a knife that they.
Yeah, I think it should be more, outwards.
Yeah, Knife Head, and Giron both utilize the idea of having a fucking blade on your face way better than this. They actually implement it into the design. This is like if they were like they finished the design and they were like, oh, how is he gonna fight? He just gonna bite people? One of the executives
for most of the episode.
One of the executives was just like, wait, we got an extra prop. There we go.
No, Chickenzilla. Giron looks great. I love Giron.
But yeah,
this guy's cool.
Yeah, Giron, it actually does look kind of. Giron is a silly design. We can all agree, but he implements the idea that he's just like a machete with a face.
This is like if they took Showa, proportions and gave it like a Heisei looking design, and it just doesn't look great.
It looks.
I also hate the little flappy arm thing.
Yeah, his arms do not look good in my opinion. That's another.
His arms look more like wings than arms.
Exactly.
Also, you see like the detailing right here on his back that I'm pointing to.
Yeah,
that's a thruster.
No, so he doesn't even need limbs. He
So
doesn't
he's like
even
a-
need these wings.
Because his first appearance is in space for
Okay.
like when they first battle, he would battle Z and Zero in space. He's flying around like this. And I would say Diego's definitely right because how he flies in
This
space,
guy
he's
does not
literally
look
just
aerodynamic
standing
at all.
there. Like he's just floating
just
there
going.
with thrusters in the back.
He's just like they put him on strings and they fucking like
Essentially, yeah.
at
But,
least give him
I feel
a
like the
secondary.
design is still salvageable.
No, don't delete everything. I wasn't done making fun of him.
Oh no, because
We're not done roasting him. This is the rest of the stream.
so
We're not done.
Bad Shark is for the rest of the stream now for memes.
Bad shark.
Bad
I do
Yeah.
think if you gave him a second set of legs, kind of like Kaiser Ghidorah, I think it would look better. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
like, but I would like it.
You know what I really hate about this design, and both Diego and I think all of you pointed out, but the fact that his head goes from
There.
it just goes down because it's like nothing's here connecting it. It looks like they just kind of. It looks like they just stuck a head on the side.
Yeah.
It looks like one of the kids from the labyrinth.
Well, they do that with several Ultraman kaiju where they have the
Yeah,
head further, and they give them more of a hunchback appearance because it's the guy in the suit. The guy is standing up, but they move the head down to give him that hunchback look, which I don't hate that aspect. I think. Go on.
Oh no, keep going. Yeah, keep going, guys.
It looks it looks bad just in general. It's just his head's kind of sitting there. Like other Ultraman kaiju, at least it feels like it's attached to the body. This thing just kind of looks like it was taped on, kind of like the neck, kind of like the knife on his face. But and the color scheme is, oh boy, it's rough.
I'm not too against the color scheme. I think that's like probably the one thing I would say is probably the most salvageable out of it. I
think the posture is what really messes up the color scheme because the red is kind of like it's isolated on his like hump and on his tail, and it's nowhere else on his body.
Yeah,
the red is just there, and it's not on his back, and it's not on his front.
That's actually a big problem.
And it's just kind of it looks
like ready. Watch this. Ready? Look at this. Like look at this design. Look, you kind of fix his design just by doing
exactly.
this.
It looks like it's attached to his head.
Like I would say, like, you put a little bit of like you take this, you smooth this out. Maybe take this piece right here of the back, and it sort of curves this way here. But even then, just like doing this, like bringing the design higher, just kind of makes the design a little bit more approachable. Like even this here, like look like right here.
And then if you turn the knife more forward, it looks like the whole back part is like one long knife instead of
exactly
upwards.
Instead of just like a knife.
Doing that.
Because actually, that could be a solid idea.
Because what's
the other
he looks like this right here looks like kind of like Seagoras from I forget which Ultraman series specifically Seagoras was from. I want to say Leo, but I don't think it's from Leo. You know which kaiju I'm referring to when I say Seagoras, right?
Not exactly. Give me
He's
if Josie was here, he would know.
Yeah, exactly.
But oh boy, and we only talked about the second pair of legs for like a couple seconds, but man, that is terrible looking. Like, why does he even have those? They don't help.
I guess it's because he's a shark. So shark.
Yeah. It looks more like an elephant seal, honestly.
Yeah, it does. Like actually, like right here. Let's just try taking. Because even then, like you'd probably have to change. Like even then, he looks fine even without the Just
like flip it over. You gotta flip it and then you flip it and then you like You like
Nope.
twist it around.
All the way right here.
There he goes.
Like,
yeah, like that. It's still
kind
not
of looks like Earthtron now. Ironically enough.
he looks more like a penguin now.
did say that Sigoris is from Return of Ultraman. Okay, so thank you for that.
Crazy
I don't
Godzilla
like
does everything.
being too rough on designs and stuff, but man, this is
Look at that.
That's your design. Also, yes, I really do like that. That's way better.
yeah, that looks way better because
Just
the
get rid of
original
those
design
weird
is
happy
just
things on the end.
Like, actually, I'm very happy with how the knife turned out on his head, because then, like, I think that would probably could even have the same detailing on his back, where it flattens out with the knife right here.
Yeah.
And just replace his arms. Maybe even like get rid of that. He would looks a lot better.
Kaiju's gone. Damn.
Oh, did we lose Kaiju? Oh no.
Yeah, like right now
No.
it looks miles better than it originally does.
You just gotta get rid of those terrible legs and extend the tail.
Yeah,
Not the main pair. The
I'd make
secondary
it smaller, you know.
That's actually we can keep doing this actually, because
just
Forever.
change this. This is garbage. The fucking there's so much to talk about.
yeah, this
Like-
was exactly why I wanted to bring this design here, because it was one, a new Ultraman Kaiju, and two, this was
Really
not a
bad
design I was super big on, but there was a lot of things I liked about it, where I thought, oh, if you change some things here and there, maybe it could be pretty good.
Nah. It's still pretty mediocre, to be honest. As
Like,
a
I mean,
design
like,
overall,
let me
I
just
think I think as a design, it's just
like
Extend
even
the tail.
right here, like if you let's elongate the tail even more.
yeah,
Like right there, like that.
Crazy chicken.
yeah. That would be better. Say chicken.
Oh yeah, what's it
Fuck,
called?
by the way,
Monstrosity
fuck
flies
Yeah,
let
that
it go
that,
on. So, yeah.
well, everything looks better.
It's just this is so
We
much.
saved Ultraman.
We saved Ultraman in like 20 minutes. This how
Yeah,
did
exactly.
how they fuck this up so
and
bad?
just in time for Monstrosity Live.
They
Like
literally
again, the tail could be used for something. You change up the arms. The arms could definitely be used for some, like
just
you could actually fight now. The head's not, again, it's not super like perfect, but like at least it still has kind of a hunched aspect to them. But then the knife, I'm actually really happy with how the knife looks.
Yeah, I would add something to like connect the neck to the body, because it still looks like off to me. It looks like it just kind of dips in.
Yeah, exactly.
I think even with these changes, I think this is still a little so.
It's not the best Kaiju design of all time.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's
Just in 20 minutes.
again,
But
this
yeah,
is
in
what
20
we
minutes-
took this and then
made it
we
so
made
much
this.
better. It's so much better in literally less than an hour. We did this. They literally just had to look at it for a couple seconds.
You're welcome,
and go.
America. We saved Ultraman.
they just had to
think
look
it's
at it for a
Japan.
couple seconds and go, "Is this a good design? No. Let's redo it."
And what's even better is the fact is that now not only does he have like he has more red on him too. Like there's the red here's more. This kind of stays here. If his arms were different, you would just see the red a lot more. Again, we utilize the color scheme better too, which I there's so much irony in that statement.
It's so much better, and we didn't even redraw it. We just kind of took parts and like rearranged them.
Not in Photoshop.
Exactly.
We did it in PowerPoint.
Yeah, PowerPoint. The like literally super limited. I had to flip something over, and because of like how big I expand things, this is like technically the full image. Again, super limited, but we were still able to save a design.
Better. It's so.
Yeah.
Oh god, I wanted to go off honestly. If Sav
like the color translates so much better
had
too.
actually enjoyed it, I would have gone berserk for like 10 minutes about how garbage it was. You take it to the woods. You take it. Here's how you fix the design. You take it out to the barn. You load your shotgun, and you tell it to think of the bunny. as you
Oh,
blow
it's a
its
gold.
fucking head off.
I think I can do something else with it too, because we
Are
were
we
talking
going to
about
be an Ultraman? Yes, we're going to be an Ultraman, buddy.
We're gonna be an ultra.
because I'm thinking right here.
Yeah.
Since we were
gonna
still
get
talking about the
Kaiju.
neck, let's think about this. Oh,
You're gonna be the next Ghidorah.
you'll be the next Ghidorah, buddy. Don't worry. You'll be Ultraman's greatest nemesis.
You'll be the next. Oh, you'll be the next. What the fuck is his name?
I don't
Oh.
even like his name. Geneg.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Gengar?
you're
Genegar.
That's what they
It
did. They
sounds
were
like
like, okay, so our next kaiju should be named.
It's like it's the sound a Murloc makes. Like literally, that's the
That
sound a
fucking-
Murloc makes.
that fucking prop comedy, dude, that was fucking gold. Fucking oh shit. It's just
Bad design, man.
Yeah,
oh,
like-
It's impossible for you to be able to grab anything now that like everything.
There's so many dang layers. See,
It
look,
looks-
it's a knife.
Oh my gosh, man.
Like,
It
okay,
looks-
now, because now I have to zoom out because I made everything so huge.
Well, see, now he looks even more like a Kaiser Ghidorah type character.
he looks like he would be bullied by the Ghidorahs. Like in space, they're just flying around, and the Ghidorahs are just hanging out, and they're just like, "Hey, look, it's that jackass. Why does he have 4 legs? Let's go beat his ass."
Exactly.
You're
I-
a fucking prick.
No,
With his
okay, I
fucking
just
knife.
realized something. I realized in all our changes, the main point I'm realizing is if you want to make Gengar look, just make it a Titanosaur. Longer neck.
Yeah,
big-
longer neck too, because like you can either connect these two pieces here or something to make like his neck
Anything.
not look terrible. But like again, the best we could come up with was like
Just
moving his neck
stick
further
it
up.
on the body. It's so. This guy would be bullied by Guiron, and Guiron looks like a machete with legs.
Yeah, Guiron's a machete with legs, but at least like
And Guiron was made,
completely committed to the motif of a
Yeah.
knife-headed monster.
and Guiron was made in like the '60s, where they had like fuck all budgets and like no technology to make it. So they somehow magically, like during the '60s, at the same time period, Varan was literally just a doll that they were spinning on a wire and destroy all monsters. Guiron still manages to be a better design than this, made in 2020.
So
Ghidorah's the weirdest kaiju to me. I was like, what? I was watching Destroy All Monsters for the first time, when I was younger, and I was like, whoa, who's that? I wonder what he does, and he never comes back.
Yeah,
So
because they
I would say
couldn't get
for us,
him.
gentlemen, out of 10, what are we giving this design?
2.
Two.
Bottom. 2 at
One.
most.
You get one.
Two.
Diego.
2, 1.
I'm giving it a 1.
Okay.
What about
I'm
Diego?
giving it a 4 because I like the ideas, I like the concepts, I like the things that make him, but I don't like the execution at all.
I'm going with the 2 because I know next time we're talking about the Pacific. We're talking about the Atlantic Rim Kaiju next time.
Oh god, there's like several of them though, right?
There's one. There's
person that pushes the
2.
golden buzzer.
There's 1 from the first movie, 1 from the second movie. The
Oh,
second
okay.
movie's
Jumbo?
actually not too terrible looking, but the
Is
first
it
one,
Pacific Rim or Atlantic Rim?
Atlantic.
Yeah, Atlantic Rim. But Jimbo, that's his name. So we had 1, 2,
Atlantic Rim.
I'll go with 3. So that makes 10 out of 10, but we'll have to divide it by 4. So
Yeah.
that,
I'll
we'll
do the math.
We'll say
What were the
I'd say overall, like divided between us, not to do like perfect maths.
I'll do it
Car
right now.
comes out with a 2 out of 10 from all of us. I bet if we had Kaiju here, we'd probably it would get bigger, but about like 2 essentially.
4 plus 3
Get out
plus.
of here. Chicken Zilla, you can stay because Spook, I don't want the drama here. Spook, we all dislike it. You have to dislike it, Spook. There's no.
What were you guys? What were your votes?
I think
You
Kaiju
had-
did come back actually. One sec.
Damn.
I
You
may not stream session myself. We
So
did
wait.
get you back.
Hey, he's back.
In here,
Yeah, sorry.
you gave it a 3. Good on you.
The Wi-Fi or whatever here.
3 out of 10.
Oh, it's no
Okay,
wait.
so
3 out of 10.
You gave it a 3 out
so
of
give me the.
so 13.
So 13 divided by 4. That is
So-
a 3.2,
5.
3.25 out of 10.
3.25. So we'll just round it up to a what we
He gets a 3.
we'll get
We'll
we'll get-
round it down because he
we'll round it
doesn't
down to a
deserve.
3 out of 10. Yeah.
He doesn't deserve a 4 out of 10.
A 3.25 would be like a failing grade out of 10. Anyway,
That would be a grade you'd be embarrassed to show your parents. No,
I
like a
think
60
you're
is a
used to that
grade that
grade.
you're embarrassed to show to your parents. This would be a grade you wouldn't tell your parents about. You would stuff it in your bag, and then when you're on the school bus, you would tear it up and throw it out the window.
when you're on your like cruise honeymoon, you take that bag and you throw it across into the ocean,
You throw it into the
the
sea.
Titanic, and you're like, Jack, I'll never forget you, but I want to
Yeah,
forget
exactly.
I want to forget about over here.
So I would say overall, there we have Gen here. So I'm only using this first name. This is the Gen. The Gen she told you not to worry about.
Wait, screen share. You're not screen sharing anymore.
Oh yeah, you're right. I am not screen sharing. That's an oof. Yeah.
That's how this whole kaiju was made. It's like drowning in the like someone's drowning in the water. They're like, Jimmy's drowning. He's like, Ranger, and he's like, oh, good God.
That would be a good kaiju name.
Oh, that's a pretty nice idea.
You
So,
know,
yeah, we
speaking of drowning, that's I'm experiencing a new feeling, and I hope you guys. I don't know if you guys are experiencing it too, but I'm experiencing the feeling of wanting to take the creator and drowning them in a puddle.
Just waterboarding him, and you're like, what were you thinking?
But just remember, we now
experience-
have the good old Gen, and now we have the Gen she told you not to
We
worry
got, we got the Virgin Gen and the Chad Gen.
Exactly.
the Virgin Gen.
Change its name. It doesn't have a good name.
Anything else. Just call it Gen. Gen.
Yeah, that's our name. That's his
Gen
name.
sounds
Gen.
so much better.
Oh yeah, the name. Nah.
Gengar, or whatever the fuck they
It's like
said.
they took Pokemon Gengar and then they just said Gengar.
Virgin Gen.
Gengar.
Chad Gar.
Kaiju, I want to hear what you think about the redesign that we came
Yeah,
up
this was the redesign we came up with while you were away.
I think that looks so much better, honestly.
Yeah.
We did
I
that
mean-
in 6-7 minutes with
Like-
like PowerPoints.
Like tops
And
20.
no budget.
No budget in photo, and not even in Photoshop. We did it not even in like some shitty like editing app. We did it in PowerPoint, which isn't even an editing app.
Yeah, like literally you can see like where the thing is still clipping, but it makes like a new spine for him, so it makes the hump
Makes it
on
look
look
cooler.
super out of place.
It makes it look even
Tail's
cooler.
no longer. Even that we kind of cut off the fin, so the fin like doesn't look like a leg. It tries to not look like a leg now.
Why
Again,
would it even be a leg?
Even then, it still looks so much better, man.
Yeah, it's way better. Like it took 20 minutes.
Yeah.
3 unprofessionals, 20 minutes on PowerPoint did better than people being paid probably a good sum of money to make
Hey.
the design.
and I just real and like now this will be actually a new. This will I'll make this an emoji on the Discord. I'll start reviving the Discord, and now the new
Just
Gen,
make it the Chad Dengar.
the Chad Gen is now isn't going to be a Discord emoji. So
The
there you go.
religion of Gen.
It's perfect. Just give praise to Gen.
Just call him Chad. His name is just Chad now.
Chad. The Chad. The absolute Chad.
Chadzilla. Chadgar.
The Virgin Space Shark versus the Chad Space Shark.
The
Exactly.
Virgin. It's just, oh god.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, my own question: whose kaiju was the best design out of everyone's here? Personal opinions.
Yes, I want to hear
Oh.
chat. Although I will say that Kaiju Zilla is just best artist.
I'd say in terms of my own opinion, obviously I'm not going to vote for my own because I'm not a dick. I'd have to go with Diego's. I like the idea of a Biomecha Kraken.
Thank you.
kills things and makes new armor. And like, if you kept making stories with him, I would love to see him get new armors to fight with, like a whole landform made out of bones. All that, I would love that.
Don't worry, he fights like a snake kaiju in the book, so he's gonna get some wings and shit.
I will be that person. I will say that I like my design the most because I am just the worst. So all my kaiju is the best.
Scabby's no longer welcome on the cast now because
even the chat agrees with me that genitals is the. Wait, I'm sorry, Chickenzilla. You like genitals the most? Okay, good on you.
I mean, I can't it depends on the genitals you're talking about, but
like
more.
I don't know.
Kaiju, who's your favorite?
I would have to say that Kraken design is very creative. I think the Kaiju I designed, he was more for a tournament, and I am proud of the design, but I think the idea of a octopus using the bodies of like a crustacean or something, that's very creative, and it draws from real life creatures because octopus, they are very smart and they do use different objects sometimes in order to survive. Like if you've ever seen the video of the octopus that uses I think 2 halves of a coconut to keep itself safe and then move along the seafloor.
Certain octopus do that to hunt. Yeah.
It's real. They're octopuses.
Yeah, so
they're such weird creatures.
I think that's very creative, and like you said, the design can naturally change because as he encounters different creatures, he can add on different pieces. Which that's really interesting, I think.
So I would say what's it called? Diego wins our Giant Monster Workshop episode 1. So good job, Diego.
Hey, I didn't vote.
Oh yeah,
Thanks
well, you know what, Grant, your vote doesn't mean anything. Okay, get off my podcast.
As long as he votes for me.
This is why Autocrax doesn't make it to the finals. Nathan. This is why Whelp got eaten alive.
I debated better.
No power.
What?
I
had no power. His name was the sound you made when everyone found out he lost. Well,
shut up, Shabby. I hate you all.
Well,
we should make a stream where we just talk shit about the original tournament because we should just shoot
Whelp.
the shit about
nothing but Whelp. We just talk about Whelp and everything he just deserved to die. Whelp
was beautiful.
Whelp was cool. I liked Whelp. Honestly,
Whelp was actually cool.
I did like Whelp. I just didn't think Whelp or any of our kaijus had any chance as soon as I saw Kaijuzilla. So I was like, Whelp.
The Talos must have been.
And he didn't even win.
No, I thought Totalis was going to lose round 1, but Totalis won. And I was like, oh.
Well, Totalis lost to the only guy who's small. One of the only 2 characters that was smaller than Totalis. But, oh god.
Nukes. Lots of nukes. Just.
Yeah.
Vote Greg. Vote Grant, you wanker.
What the?
Lord.
No, shut up. There was so many kaiju from that tournament that I really love.
We should talk about the 2 tournaments if the second one ever gets finished.
Sami, I want you to sit down and write 15 of those fucking fights in a row.
You know what? I will make a tournament. I will make a Showa Kaiju tournament. My other account called Showa Kaiju. Go follow Showa Kaiju. I will make.
Follow it. Don't worry.
Dang it, Savvy. Now I have to put another thing in the description.
Don't worry,
you.
I'm gonna make my own. I'm gonna make a tour. I'm gonna make an account just for those tournaments after I finish Ishma versus Rafe.
My
Right.
tournament is called the King of
I'm gonna
Kaiju.
post them
We
all on that
haven't even
account.
debated. We haven't even debated.
That we haven't
on.
even debated. Just get away from me, man. It takes time. It's hard to find motivation.
It took
after
you 2
30
years.
of these. It's
We have been
30
doing
of them.
nothing during coronavirus. You have been on lockdown. You can't go anywhere. I'm sorry, am I not allowed to say the name of the virus?
Oh no, it's fine. I
name?
don't
Oh God, we're
think
demonetized already.
like I was demonetized in the first. Like I was monetized. In
Yeah,
the first
we were demonetized the
The moment I said I
the
hate
second
Jews.
you two started saying your opinions on the Ultraman
Israel.
Kaiju, it was demonetized. Don't worry.
Oh,
That's very true.
I thought you were gonna say it was demonetized as soon as I mentioned Israel and how it's an illegitimate state.
That is also
that demonetized me. So now I'm actually getting
that
demonetized.
and genitals. Genitals really demonetized.
Yeah, and the genitals. So yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
At least none of us said the N word.
Terrible opinions regarding stuff. Yeah, like the stream's dead. Thank you all for killing my channel.
No, don't stop the stream yet. I'm enjoying this little chat we're having.
Yeah, but in all reality, it is coming to a close. I do, however, want to thank Grant, Savvy, Foxy, Twinkie while he was still here. I'm going to have to go down to the store and buy some more of them. And Kaiju, all for coming on the stream and sort of making this a fun time. I may think about doing a theme for the next episode. And hopefully an ice fishing boy actually comes on the stream.
Comes back to life. Gets
Yeah,
out of the pool of
exactly.
life.
After actually that whole ice fishing, that was just an excuse. He's actually out. He's out at the GIMP convention, but I'm not supposed to tell anyone about that.
But yeah, I thank you all for coming on. And again,
Someone mentioned fucking
I thank
Haraka
you-
again.
I thank you all for being here. But if y'all got some intros, let's hear them. We'll start with Grant.
Oh, intros.
Or outros. See, this is why y'all mess me up.
Intros. Let's see, guys. I don't know.
Oh yeah, y'all don't do YouTube. You know what? I need a professional
I have a
Kaiju.
YouTube.
No,
but
I'll
I don't
do-
really do
I'll do
anything
some
on it.
outros.
I just make fun of creepypastas.
Fine, Savvy,
YouTube.
you do an outro.
This has been SavvyTune. You can follow my account right here. Everything is so backwards. It's like SavvyTune, but it has that little understand. I'm shouting myself out again. And before we go, just one last thing. Go Gyro Man as always.
And Foxy, let's hear your outro, my dude.
I want to redo my outro.
All right, you can follow me on Instagram if you want. I really don't mind if you don't. My account is linked down below, and I just like to remember to Savvy that Aishma made some sushi with his boy.
Feel
My
bad,
answer
boy.
got deep
Feel
like
bad,
that.
Savvy.
Like,
if we ever meet in real life, I will fight you.
don't worry. Next G-Con or whatever the fuck it's
Threat.
called.
It's not a it's not just a threat, it's a promise. I will find you, and the first thing I'll say is, hey man.
Just
Kaiju, let's hear your outro, my dude.
Yeah, thanks for joining the stream, everyone who joined, and all the comments and stuff. Hope you all enjoyed my kaiju design and our talks together about kaijus and their designs.
And Israel.
Yeah. Follow me if you want on Instagram and wherever else. I'm also on Twitter, but anyway, Instagram. And yeah, see you all later.
You know what? I'm just gonna kick all of you off from the next episode. Kaiju's the only professional kid here, so you know what? It's just gonna be the 98 and 99
I'm
show.
redoing my outro.
All right.
What did I do?
Well, you know, I like Foxy too. Foxy's my friend, so he's my boy.
I'm not.
All right.
I want to redo my outro.
Pretty cool.
Grant, let's get your outro, and then I'll have mine.
Subscribe to True Bioman 12. I believe it's on YouTube. Go follow me on Instagram at True Bioman, and look out for Ishma versus Rafe because it's coming soon. Shut up, bitch! It's coming.
Yeah, right.
See you later.
And without further ado, I think each and every one of these wonderful gentlemen for coming on and talking about their whole design process. And
Face real.
we have the True Bioman, Savvy Tune, Foxy, Kaijuzilla 98, and I am Zemzilla, and I'll see you guys